Hi, welcome to my channel today. It's Melinda here with you, and I just wanted to quickly show you, I've got these photos of my children from last year. It was Christmas morning, quite a hilarious story, but I will tell you that as the layout goes on. So I wanted to scrap these two photos, and I'm using the absolutely gorgeous Tis the Oh Joy collection from Pink Fresh Studio. I wanted to use this Tis the Season to be silly as my title, and I've also cut a bunch of stars from some of the 6x6 pattern papers. I pulled out some gelatos. I've got this awesome stamp. I'm going to do some stamping in the background and some embossing in gold. I just wanted to quickly let you know that's as much as I've planned. I don't know where I'm going to go with this or how it's going to go, but I'm going to do some mixed media in the background. So I will pop you on to fast forward and get started. So here we are again. I'm just quickly applying a light coat of clear gesso to my background page, sort of around the middle of the page. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go for a horizontal through the middle design. Quickly drying that off with heat tool, and then I've decided to do some embossing with this gorgeous 4x4 background stamp. Just inking it up with some Versamark, I think it is, in a little dabber bottle. Randomly applying it and then pouring on some of the gorgeously shimmery, so pretty Colour Blast Bling embossing powder. You can see this shine and sparkle there. Just heat setting that now. And I do go back in and do some more. Just as an FYI, if you haven't used the Colour Blast embossing powders, you can see there it leaves quite a fine shimmery dust, which is beautiful, but it gets on everything. But I do recommend having a brush that you can just wipe it off with. You will see that I go over this once it's all completely heat set with actually a damp baby wipe, because the background's gessoed and I can get all the excess glitter off that way. So I've just done above and below where I know my photos are going to go. I'm just heat setting that again, and you can see I'm doing some more. That's right, there was a bit of a gap in the middle there, so just applied some more of the embossing ink, some more embossing powder, heat set it. So the story behind these photos, my boys are so funny. Christmas morning last year, I was trying to get a decent photo of them together, and they were just mucking about as little boys do. And I just went, you know what, boys, just get your silly on, get it over and done with, go crazy. Oh, look, there I am with the baby wipe. Sorry. So they were just silly and crazy, and you can see one of the photos is of them pulling faces at me, which is not uncommon. And then after they had that over and done with, I sort of went, okay, now boys, look at mum and smile for me. So, and they did, and I got this other beautiful photo of them, big grins on their faces. So I was rather happy, but I really wanted to tell the story because they crack me up. They're funny little people. So as you can see here, I've just used some gelatos and some packaging to do the very technical packaging technique. I've used two colours just to get the right colour to match the range that I'm using. And yeah, just literally some colour, some water, and smooshing it onto the background. The embossing powder resists the colour, so it doesn't sit on the embossing powders. You can quite clearly see the gold through it. It's so pretty. I wanted to add some red. I did try that red gelato, but once I watered it down, it became quite pink. So I grabbed some red acrylic paint from my stash, added a bit of water, mixed it up with a paintbrush, and very carefully added some red splatters. I did not want it to look like blood splatters, so I've gone pretty light-handed with the red, but that's okay. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So now onto the layers. This is one of the papers from the 6x6 paper pad. I wanted to incorporate that into my title, and so I'm just going to cut that down, and I come back and cut it down a bit more again a little bit later. I did try to go for another 3x4, but the season part was just a little bit too long, so it wasn't going to happen. That's okay though. So just playing around with placement. That silly I cut, I think I said at the beginning of the video, I cut on my Cameo. I just found a font that I liked and cut it. Tissue paper that my order from Kylie came wrapped in. It's pretty, it's gold. I'm just going to back my photos with it. Get to watch me muck around with it for a little while. Very exciting stuff. Just use my tiny attacher to attach it all together, and then when I trim it down, little bits and pieces start falling out. I think I cut that bit out so you don't actually see it, but I was like, oh look, gold tissue paper. Here we go, chopping that card down a bit more. And I've gone, oh dear, I'm going to have a weird little gap. How am I going to disguise that? But I'll work it out in the end. I'm super happy with how this page came together. I really, really like the end product. This Pink Fresh line is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I wasn't sure to start with if I was going to back both the photos with the tissue paper, but clearly I decided I was going to. I did toy with the idea of putting the title in the middle, but I didn't like the way the silly sat under the 2B, so I went back to the original way that I had it, so it was kind of next to it. These are all the stars that I have cut on my Cameo. I have just doodled those on a piece of paper, taken a photo, and then imported them into the Silhouette Studio and did a trace and cut. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I decided that the page needed a little bit of a border, so I've just cut a couple of strips from one of the 12x12s. I'm just dressing the edges, and I do rip it in a couple of places on the top and the bottom. And then this blue paper is a paper from my scrap box, and again I'm just distressing the edges, and I'm going to stick all that down. I'll do muck around with this for a little while because it has to be in just the right spot. But I do really like what this adds to the page. It sort of gives it somewhere to stop. So how are you coping now the silly season has officially started? It's the 7th of December. My post is going to go up on tomorrow actually. I hope that you are keeping yourself busy and finding some scrappy time. It's a bit hard this time of year, but that's okay. I'm sure that's why that midnight was invented, so that we could scrap. Not the most exciting viewing. I thought that I had chopped some of this out. That's okay. You can always fast forward through it. What are your Christmas plans? Everything planned? Everything ready? We're slowly getting things together. Fingers crossed we're all well again. The 4 of us were hit by a bout of gastro over the weekend, which is no fun for anyone. So back to the layout. I'm just mounting up the silly photo of my children because it's hilarious. They're classics. So yeah, I just mount up that middle one, and at this point I realise that I have got nowhere for my journaling to go. Like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I realised, and I'm going to adhere that "'Tis the Season" card on only 3 sides. Really love these stars. So impressed with what I've done. So here is the paper that I use for my journaling card, which I am going to tuck in behind. On top of that paper there's a little plastic tab thing, just to make it easy for the card to be pulled in and out of the little pocket. I stamp a little saying from the Oh Joy stamp set. It just says ho ho ho. It was the only one that fit, but I thought it was a bit cute. Everything comes off the page again so that I can work on something else. So I'm just chopping down that journaling card and adhering tape to the back of the title, realizing that my journaling card is a tiny bit too big, so I'll cut that down again after I distress the edges. Perfect. Adhere my little tab thing from my stash. And then I decided that it just needs a little something to sort of cover up the plastic, because it's going to stay blank, because that's the part that's going to be sticking out of the pocket, but also my journaling won't be on there. So I've super speeded up my journaling. I so wish I could write this fast. That would be awesome. But yeah, just doing my journaling, making sure it all fits in there still. And then this is where I pull out the, I narrow it down to 2 pieces. I really like that 12-25 thing, because this was Christmas morning. But the little thing of mistletoe wins out in the end. I think it's just so cute, and it just fills that space without overfilling it. Just use my tiny attacher to attach that to the tab. So I felt that the word silly was blending in a bit. So I've just grabbed my pen and I'm doing a quick outline on that. Again, I cannot write this fast. It would be nice, but I can't. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm looking for my dot for my eye. Made sure I put it somewhere safe, and then, as always, you forget where that somewhere safe is. So now I'm going to stick all my layers down. Starting with that photo in the middle, and then I have difficulty with this card not sticking. Duh, there is mixed meter in the background. Wet glue. I totally forgot. It just didn't even occur to me. So you'll see me a couple of times going back in and adding a bit more glue and adding a bit more glue, and it's stuck now. There's my big fat head. Glad it's in super fast forward, otherwise you might see my blonde regrowth. So just attaching that little acetate piece, sticking down my other photo. My boys are so cute. Those puffy alphas are from Heidi Swap, and they're glittery. They're very pretty. Now I only applied glue to the middle of the word and also to the middle of the stars. I wanted the dimension that not gluing them all the way around would give. These are quite bold, especially those red ones are quite bold, but they're also quite subtle because they're open, and I really, really like them. Decide that I need a third pop of red, and I add another red star to the top right hand side of the photos. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my epic fail the first time I tried to cut all these. For some reason, one of the papers lifted up and my cameo tried to eat the paper. So I've hoarded the paper, and I'm hoping that maybe I can use it for layers behind photos and stuff. So I try to put the journaling card in again, and it's still not dry, it's not sticking. The good old put the heavy bottle of glue on top until it sticks. Do a little bit of stapling on those curled bits on the borders, and I think I'm coming in next with, I'm not sure. Oh, with the gold acrylic mirror shapes. They're so pretty. They're so pretty and shiny. I grabbed the phone then because I didn't want to put my fingerprints all over them. So they are mirror pieces, so you will get fingerprints on them. There is a protective film on there, so make sure you peel that off and you'll get the beautiful, shiny, shimmery beautifulness that they are. They look a bit dull if you leave the protective film on there. So I'm just going to come in with some Bling colour spray, colour shimmer spray. I just used my stamp set to cover up my photos because I couldn't be bothered finding anything else. And yeah, just some sprinkles with the gold and calling it done. So here are the close-ups. Thank you ever so much for stopping by. I hope you're enjoying this silly season and finding some time to scrap your wonderful memories. Have a fantastic day, and I will be back again very soon. I think I'll be tackling one of the challenges next. So happy scrapping, and I will see you next time.